Nelson with the Kansas City Business Association, and we have a new member. Who do we have here?
Hi everybody, I'm KMarie.
Hey Kay, talk to our audience a little bit about your company. What's the name of your company? What does your company do?
Okay, the name of my organization, it is Dream Makers Society, and we work with grassroots organizations, nonprofits specifically, to help them get funding, doing program development, things of that nature, getting organized.
All right. How long have you had this company? What's the genesis of it?
Well, it started in 2017, like fall 2017, and officially was registered last year, 2019.
How long have you been in that field?
The nonprofit sector?
Right.
Been putting in work for about 8 years or so.
Well, how about giving our audience a rundown of some of your experience, some of the things that you and some of the people you've worked up, some of the organizations, and exactly what qualifies you to have the dream team or the dream company. Run it down to our audience.
Okay. So the first question you asked, what was it? My experience.
Yeah,
as far
some
as
of your
nonprofit is
experience,
concerned?
right.
Okay. So as far as my experience I've worked at all levels of nonprofit. If it's been with fundraising, organizing events, organizing members, working at food drives, community cleanups, program development, getting them registered, however they needed my help. If I had the skill set to do it, then I would do it, and if I didn't, then I would figure out how to make it happen.
On the job training, self-taught in that industry.
Correct. Yes.
All right. You mentioned off camera you do some grant writing.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit.
Okay. And so before I did have, well, I do still, it's still in operation, have a company where we did the same thing pretty much. We primarily worked in the construction industry. That was our clientele, and to date, helping with compliance, helping them with various types of registrations, helping them taxes, payroll, things of that nature. We're pretty much taking that same concept and putting it into the nonprofit sector.
Boy, that is a laborious, because I'm a previous contractor also, and trying to get certified, trying to be in compliance with the city, the state, and so forth. Right. That's almost a yeoman's task, and especially if you want to get MBE certified. Have you worked in that area at all?
We have, yes. With the city, yes, and with the state, yes. Yeah,
that frankly, I couldn't even do that. I spent a ton of time trying to do
right.
that. So tell us a little bit more about what your current company's plans and what your vision for that company is.
Okay. Well, the whole vision, well, what we have in play at the moment is the grant writing, is the grant matching, program development, and then helping organizations get to a point of funding. So what that means is no matter where an organization is at, then we have a service in-house that can help them.
Are you only working with nonprofits?
Correct.
Correct. All
with
right.
The Dream Maker Society.
All right. Tell me this. Are there a lot of grants out here for different types of nonprofits?
Yes. Whatever.
Run that down. Run how those grants are structured, and really what does it take for the most part? I know it's no blanket solution or no blanket type grant. They all different formats, but give our audience a little bit of what that's about.
As far as the grant structure,
right, the different types of grants and going about getting the funding for those grants. I think we talked off camera about wording and what you're matching the grant up with what your company does. Talk about
Okay.
that.
Okay, so to speak to the various types of funding sources, so you do have individual donors, of course. Then you have the government grants, you have corporate, and you have the foundational grants. Our organization, we have the capacity to work with all.
What's the difference in, well, some of it is self-explanatory, but run a little bit down about the government grant, about the foundation grant, and about like the philanthropist type grants.
Okay, well, the philanthropist portion, I'll start there because that's more of the simplest one. A lot of the times when you have the individual or the philanthropist grants, what you call them, then that's just an individual who has cash or has some other type of resource that they want to donate to an organization or to a various cause. For various reasons, it could stem from them wanting a tax deduction or that they actually have a desire to support that cause. It varies there. And then to go to the corporate grants, those are like your Targets, those are like the Home Depots, those are like the Walmart grants. And a lot of the times those are a lot more simpler, or a little...
The process is...
the process is a little simpler.
User-friendly.
They are user-friendly, but then you have some as well where but no matter what, they're all still specific. Although each one of those corporations, they say, okay, well, we have this sustainability and we donate, they call it corporate responsibility a lot of the time. They still have specific causes that they give to, so you still have to qualify and be, or become eligible or stand in a position of eligibility to acquire the funding. Then you have the government grants, which a lot of people know about the government grants, and those are the more difficult ones to get, and those are the ones that's generally funded by one of the federal,
local, city, or county.
Correct.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And audience, believe you me, there's no, that's no joke. You really need a professional to work with you on that. Very few companies have in-house people that are able to acquire those grants. So am I wrong?
You're right. You are correct about that. And that's the strength of the Dreammakers team, the Dreammakers Society's team. Our team, they have experience in all levels of administration and grant writing in regards to the nonprofit and education as well in regards to the nonprofit. Our grant writers, they're across the country, but we collectively work together, and that's our strength, to help, again, overall to help the nonprofits push their vision, their mission, and get organized.
How has the COVID-19 affected your organization?
Well, it hasn't. It actually has saved us time. So instead of a lot of in-person meetings, we've been able to, we've incorporated the Zoom. This portion that we're speaking about today in regards to the grant writing and the grant matching, we actually launched that out during COVID-19.
What I have found, boy, it's going to be a big change in how corporations and everyone do business now, because and I believe some people are going to lose employment, because where before you had to bring corporate as well as private as well as individuals screaming and pulling back on change. And most corporations now, over the last 2 months, everybody is using Zoom where they hadn't used Zoom or FaceTime or what have you. And so there's going to be more creative ways in getting their missions done. And I think that that's going to eliminate some jobs. And even in what you're doing, I think is going to be much easier, where there are questions that you might want to ask your clients and what have you. You're going to be able to put the Zoom together. We're doing this and doing that. And do you think that that's going to be very helpful?
Well, it has already proven to be helpful. And then also with that, the way that we operate and the way that we keep ourselves organized within Dreammakers, since we are working with various clients, various causes, in various cities and time zones, We also use an application in-house that allows us to track all of that in one software application. So along with Zoom, it's the launch has been going really well. What I say is we're at the beginning of the soft launch. We're at the very beginning of a soft launch, but we have already have some grants submitted and currently working right now on program development and even working to help organizations get registered. So it's going well.
Is there anything else that you would like to have our business community know about your business?
Well, as far as Dreammaker Society, pretty much just understand that that's our goal, is to support our nonprofit community, our grassroots nonprofit community, with whatever your vision and your purpose is to help you get those missions accomplished.
What would your closing words be for the corporate community and people that would like to use your service? Tell them how they can contact you.
Thank you. If you guys are interested in contacting us, we have a Facebook group. It is Dreammaker Society. As well on LinkedIn is Dreammaker Society. And of course, you can send an email to dreammakersww@gmail.com.
All right. As we always say in closing, when you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. Good night.